got back from the lake with the Blackjack 42. Just had a pretty big crash. That wasn't really an issue because it landed the right way up and everything was fine. Drove it back, but before that I just hit a log or a stump that's underneath, just underneath the surface of the water, and it's bent this thing back again. So it twisted this. So we're going to need to give this whole thing a birthday, I think. So we've got this part sorted out. So if it crashes and lands on the rudder on the side, this bracket's not going to bend again. But I can't have this. So I think rather than strengthening this, I'll design one with a kickback rudder, because I could end up ripping the back of the boat off if I do this too many times. And the other thing that's really annoying me now is the amount of play this has got now. I haven't really used this boat, a lot. I've had it for a while, but it's probably, what would I say? It's probably been out 20 times, 20 outings. And if you just look at this, that is not cool. That's how much movement we've got in there. That is just no good at all. I don't know how much movement there was before, but it wasn't like that. And I do grease it every time. Take the bearing out there and grease it properly. So I haven't done anything to cause that, or it's not from lack of maintenance. The other thing, of course, I don't like either, that was the same on the Supersonic wake that I'll try and make better, is the amount of movement these rudders have. Like, all rudders do have some movement, in that pin there. Just can't get rid of it altogether, but we can definitely make it better than that. So I'm going to make up a strut that's got the same bearings as the Supersonic wake has, the roller bearings and needle bearings, and that will get rid of all that. I'll make up a rudder exactly the same size, but with a kickback function and something with less movement there. So I think that's what it needs. Apart from that, everything else is good. It's a good boat. It is a fast boat. There's no doubt about that. And it can handle a lot more prop than you get with the factory. So here it is all pulled apart. You can see how this works. Just a lot of wear. If I push that right up to where it's meant to be, you can actually see, probably with the camera there, how much wear I've got there. That's just crazy. And like I said, I've probably only used this boat 20 times. So that's just no good. So what I'm going to have to do is get a strut made up, get rid of that idea, and get needle roller bearings in here. The only thing with that is you're going to have to change the cable as well, which adds to the expense of when someone's doing an upgrade, but it is what it is. I mean, if you don't want to have this problem, and you want to have needle roller bearings, which means it's going to spin easier anyway, it's pretty much just spend the money once and then it's done. There'll be bearings that, like in all our other 1/4-inch stingers, that are okay for salt water, so they're never going to rust. Yeah, and as far as the rudder goes, where'd I put that? What do we got here? So I'll make it a kickback rudder and try and get as much as this wobble out of it as I can. Like our other Sonic wake one, that worked out pretty good. It's got bugger all wobble. I'll also get this spacing just a little bit more apart so that people who want to run the 8mm outside diameter hoses can fit on there. I think with these 7mm OD ones, what do we got here? Yeah, and so an 8mm might actually fit on there anyway. It'd be very close, but I'll just make them just a touch further apart, just so there's no issues like that. I mean, the 8mm, it doesn't really make any difference. People think it does, but it doesn't, because the inside is still the same diameter. It might help if you were going to have a really tight bend and it would kink, like this one here. But, it's not happening with that. So but you know, people do what they do, so I'll just make it so that they can do that. But main thing is get rid of this play and make it a kickback so we're not bending this thing all the time. And that's a pretty thick, sturdy piece of material, but I actually hit a log, hit the bottom, or hit a log, and it, you know, pulled it back. So if I just make another brace like that, when you're hitting things, I mean, there's a chance you could rip the bolts out of the back of the boat, so I don't want to do that. Now, a better way to do this again, like if I was doing this just for myself, I'd get another bearing fitted here. So just have 2 lots of roller bearings there. But to do that, that means you'd have to cut the stuffing tube. And what I've found, you know, dealing with people with, you know, customers with radio control stuff over the 20 years, people don't like actually changing things. Everybody wants to just bolt things on. They're kind of afraid to cut something, so it's going to actually put people off if I put 2 bearings in here, make it better, and tell people they've got to trim that. You know, it actually puts people off buying stuff if they tell them they've got to do even like a 10-second job like that with an angle grinder. So I'm just going to do it the way people want it. 1 bearing, no cutting, and it will still be better than, a lot better than this system anyway. So